The goal here was to communicate something in less than 2 minutes so that it can be used on a landing page, on the home page, and adequately sell the core components of this product. So the Metroclick whiteboard, that project was a little bit of a doozy from a branding perspective.
We've been working with Metroclick for a few years now. They always come to us with these really cool projects, mostly video tech-based products, so they kind of resonate with us and what we do. This whiteboard project, the whole theme was that blank canvas.
I think in the beginning, we didn't know what we wanted to call it. The client was unsure. When we came up with the concept, it was about how do we give this whiteboard differentiation, right? We needed to create the illusion of a white canvas and what you could create with this amazing piece of technology.
We wanted to inspire users to create and to collaborate and evoke that sense of collaboration that this board has and all the cool tech and features and things that come along with that.
So we came up with something called freestyle.
From the beginning, we wanted the talent to kind of invite the viewer on this camera journey. So she kind of like invites you in and the camera follows her. That kind of sets the tone for the whole video with all of these smooth, flowy camera moves, dynamic transitions from scene to scene. She kind of guides you with your finger, even things that she's doing on screen. The underlying message was kind of like a wisp of a brushstroke.
Before we started working on any sort of a script, we really needed to nail down what features did we want to focus on that were going to directly compete with other whiteboard in the marketplace. So we put together something called a FAB Sheet. This FAB Sheet is going to give the client the ability to articulate, okay, what features do I want to include in this video? What are the advantages and the benefits of those features? That FAB Sheet is unique to us here at Trifactor. It gives us the ability to focus on the unique selling proposition of this particular product. So when we do the outline, we're not going to miss anything, or we can prioritize, okay, this is what we want to open up with, this is what we want to maybe transition into and then close. We try as much as possible to not cram the video because the audience can get lost. And sometimes they only really care about 3 or 4 things. We worked really hard with our client to simplify the communication style and approach. So the script writing process works hand in hand with the FAB Sheet. In the script itself, we needed to also be punchy. So the tone of it needed to appeal to someone that could quickly grasp these concepts, but at the same time, we wanted to keep it simple. So technology can get complex. And sometimes when we are working with clients, they want to get into the nitty-gritty. Unfortunately, that can derail your message, especially when you're trying to do something relatively quick. The goal here was to communicate something in less than 2 minutes, have a voiceover talent that had that intriguing sound. Fortunately, we do have a nice group of voiceover talent that we can pull from and decide, okay, this is going to be perfect for this brand. We knew right off the bat we wanted to use Roger Leopardi. He is just an amazing voiceover talent, done some national work for brands like Marriott, Tractor Supply, and some of these big known brands.
Now you're free to create. That's because the Freestyle Whiteboard is set up to impress.
We were really excited that he was on board with this, and I think he drove the message in the right way.
We wanted to target all of these different industries specific to marketing agencies, interior design firms, universities, schools, anywhere that you could have that collaborative mindset and use for a whiteboard like this.
The idea was to film it in a really nice, minimalistic studio and let the whiteboard be the protagonist of the show. So we went out of our way to find a really great on-screen talent, a model that she could come off as someone you could relate to, maybe a Gen Z, someone working from home potentially or working at an agency. We wanted to convey that this was something that was multifaceted, right? Industry agnostic. And when we spoke with the on-screen talent about it, we made it very clear, hey, dance around the studio, right? Show how much fun you can have with the whiteboard. Point and click on drag and drop. It was supposed to feel like a dance between you and this product so that it illustrates how fun it can be to create with the whiteboard, specifically the Freestyle Whiteboard.
So even though we went with the simplistic approach as far as the sets were concerned, we had different pieces of furniture, different things that we can dress up the sets to really convey how you can interact with the board and in places where the board could actually be used. Through a dynamic transition, we started from the studio scene and it flew into the screen, and as if she was working from home, interacting with the tablet from her phone. We chose the green screen approach to be able to replace content later on in the post-production process. This way we could focus on different industries, but we wanted to have the ability later on to be able to even create different versions of the video if needed by replacing that content with different elements and things that could speak to different industries. Even the wardrobe, we really wanted to pop off of that simple white background by the use of primary colors. The idea and the intention was for all of the design and all the elements to be very vibrant and really jump off of that whiteboard, just building on that whole concept of it being a blank canvas and you're free to create on it.
I really like the way the colors come together with so much of the white space and the white canvas approach.
There was cables laying on the ground that you don't see anymore that we went in and removed. Of course, the green screen, there was crosshairs for tracking points. All of that information is tracked when we had the dynamic camera movement to be able to make sure that the screens that we're superimposing inside of the whiteboard stays in place, right? Things aren't jumping around. It doesn't look like it's fake. The idea is for it to come off like it really lived in the screen from the beginning. When you don't have the luxury of, creating a custom piece of music for a video, you have to find the closest thing to complement the message that we're looking for. And the message here was free to create, right? Freedom! So fresh, so new. So this song is freedom, freedom. It's super upbeat, punchy. So finding the right music track is like finding a needle in a haystack. You're going through all of these different libraries, playing things over and over again until suddenly something just kind of like jumps out at you, right? And to find something that has vocals in it that really matches, this whole concept that we're going of freedom and freestyle. The song title was actually Freedom. So, what are we doing? Free to create, right? That's what we're trying to sell here. So it worked great. Everybody that we shared with the creative team, everybody loved the track. Even with all the planning and all of the things that you can do during the production process, there's always going to be a little bit of rotoscoping that has to be done, and there was a good amount of that. So if you don't know what rotoscoping is, it is the painstaking process of going frame by frame, literally painting out pixels, basically is what you're doing. Pixels that exist, you're trying to remove them in a certain way. We had some challenges on, with the lighting, the way the light hits the screen, there's reflections, all of those things kind of give us those little challenges in the post-production process, but we were able to manually address those things and make it work.